Okay, and we're recording. So this is what I like to call Totally Awesome Friends of Jen, because I love alliteration and to keep the Totally Awesome alive. And essentially what that is featuring my friends that lead with their heart in their business, in their life, and are causing a positive ripple effect into the world. So I want to spread the good vibes and spread the word. And I'm very excited to introduce my first featured lady, my good friend, Dr. Laura Hughes. Yay! uh, so with everything, I'll just introduce sort of how we met, my first impressions of you, and also the impact that you've made in my life.
Yeah.
Okay, so Laura and I don't know, we probably met about a year and a half ago now, and it was through a mutual friend. Yeah, and she introduced us, I think, via Facebook message.
It was. Yep.
Yeah. And so she's like, you guys have to meet. I'm like, amazing. And at this stage in my business, I had just started coaching, and I was essentially like coaching anyone I could, just practicing for free. And I knew you were had just started your business as well. And so I thought maybe it was an opportunity to give you some free coaching. And we got on the phone, and I knew within like 5 minutes that I was talking to a wise woman. And there's something about Laura that just like it soothes me just talking to you. And
Oh, I think
and I just like got off the phone. I was like, she doesn't need my coaching. Like she has it going on. And I knew that we were going to be friends. I knew that we were going to be peers, and we both love that quote, the rising tide lifts all ships. And I see that with us, like, you helped me a great deal. I hope I can help you a great deal. And as
for 1 second, I didn't need coaching because I'd already been through like a year and a half of coaching. So coaching is invaluable. Like I think everyone needs a coach, but that's like the only reason why I think I didn't need your coaching. But
yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was just, I knew that we were, I don't know, I knew we were going to have some form of relationship, and I didn't know how. And then it was this summer that last summer when I moved to the beaches, that we really got to know each other. And we had for me, a really impactful conversation on the beach one day as we were walking. And you had just returned from a retreat that you did in England, a high priestess retreat, and you were disappointed in that. And I loved that you were disappointed in that, because something that came out was that you're done being pupil. Like, I mean, we'll always be learning and student, but you had really realized that you had done the work and you're ready to teach. And I was like, yes, because that's what I felt from the very first time I got on the phone with you. I was like, oh, unleash this. So that was really cool. Also, that conversation for me, I was in a bad place. Like I had hit burnout, and it was a long coming burnout, and I had just cracked. And so Laura was the one that introduced me to the moon cycle and really flowing with the rhythms and energy of the universe. And it was something so impactful for me in my life that I've now taken it into my business. And I've also now passed it along to my coaching clients. So, talking about a ripple effect, it's really made a huge difference in my life. And now it's making difference in other people's lives. So there you go. I want to thank you for all of that. And
it's,
yeah.
it's funny because I didn't know at the time what an impact that was having on you. So I think it's just case in point that when you show up as yourself and just talk about what you're interested in, and sorry, my cat is crying. She's fine. She's just if you show up as yourself and just follow your heart and what interests you and lights you up and just live that, like you never know who you're going to touch. And that's kind of what I live for now, is just spreading light. So
Yeah. Yeah. And it was huge impact. And that's why I like sharing impacts with people, because you have no idea. Like it was just a really casual conversation, but huge impact, huge. It's like how I lead my life now.
I love it.
Yeah. So we'll start off the questions. So with the Ladies That Lead group, I really want to emphasize three main categories in it. And it's a brag, a offer, and a need. And so I'm going to ask you those lines of questions now. So the first thing I really want you to do is brag about yourself. What are you proud of right now? What kind of successes do you want to tell us about?
Um, it's funny because you go back to when we first met and like you're on the phone with me and you thought I had this power to unleash, and I've always had this disconnect with not my abilities, but with what I have to offer and confidence doing that. And I'm a confident person, but I've just always had this disconnect with what I've achieved and what I can offer. So I have 5 university degrees. So I have a master's, 2 masters, a PhD, and I'm a naturopathic doctor. So that's like ridiculous. And for, even with all the education and learning and knowledge to spread, I still felt like I wasn't enough, or I couldn't help people. So yeah, it was kind of coming back from that retreat in England, which is, we could do a whole podcast on that experience, but that I came back and I realized exactly what you said. Like I'm ready. So I think my business has really taken off in the past 6 months, just because I really stepped into my power, and I'm just leading from a place of like, I don't care what people think. I don't care if I'm ready. I'm just showing up every day the way I want to show up. And yeah, things have taken off. So it's really fun.
Yeah, perfect. And I love that. And again, another impact for me is like when you show up online and things like that, like it allows me to do my work. I'm like, oh, cool, and so it's huge. And I think it's really important for us to like really brag about ourselves and the things
Yeah.
that we've overcome. And you are like amazing in so many different ways. And
I remember doing my first Facebook Live video and then freezing. Like I froze on the video and I was just like a deer in headlights. And it was in a private group, so it's fine. There was like 2 people watching it. But that was only that was like just over a year ago, maybe like 16 months ago. I'm not sure. But now I'm so comfortable just because I do it every day. Garnier found me on Instagram because I do a lot of Instagram live videos, just sharing off the top of my head. And I did a little commercial for them like a month or so ago in Montreal. So yeah, again, it's just like the constant lesson to me that when you show up as yourself and just live your life as you feel good doing, opportunities find you. You never know who you're touching. Like people don't often comment on my videos, but I know they're watching because they tell me when they see me how much it benefited them. So yeah, it's hilarious to me that I just filmed a commercial and I used to be deathly afraid of video. So
yeah, that's awesome. Perfect. And so what do you offer? What
yeah,
kind
so
of services do you offer? Yeah.
yeah, I have a bit of an eclectic business. I wear many hats. As I said, I got so hung up for so long on what do I offer? Who's my client avatar? Who am I here to serve? And now I do what I want. So the core of my business is I have a business with doTERRA, and I love it just because so doTERRA is an essential oil company. I love it because it's just an amazing, beautiful vehicle that drives everything else I want to do. It lets me help people with their health because I've trained in natural health for so long. It lets me work with a company that's so heart-centered and changing the world. It lets me travel. I love to travel. So the crux of my business is doTERRA and supporting customers primarily, but also helping other people build their doTERRA business. So I guess my offering is if you are interested in essential oils and natural health and want support from someone who you really trust because they have the background and they've put the time in to learn about it, I'd love to support people with that. And if you are looking for a little bit of a side gig or just residual income, or you have just heard about doTERRA and feel the pull just to be part of something so amazing, I'd love to support you with your business as well.
Love it.
Yeah.
And what do you need right now? So to take your business or your life to the next level, what do you need?
So I've built most of my business online just because I just love to travel. My husband's from the Netherlands, so I never quite am sure, you know, I'm in Canada, I'm in Toronto. So if he wanted to stay, what his job was going to look like. So I really wanted to create something that I could take anywhere. But that being said, working at home is lonely. In the past couple of months, I've taken my classes out to Toronto, and I love doing in-person events. I feel like people are really craving community and connection. And that's kind of what's been missing for me in my online stuff. Like I love online because I can chat to women all over the world, and I work with women in like 8 or 9 different countries, but I would just love to connect with women in Toronto who want to go to a class or host a class. I mean, it's free. I just bring my oils, we chat aromatherapy, and yeah, I'm always looking for places in Toronto to connect and teach and share.
Yeah, and that's actually the first time I met you in person is I went to a
Yeah,
doTERRA
of
like learn.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I that's when I really fell in love with you. So yeah, and you're just so knowledgeable and you just have such a nice way about you. And yeah, I learned so much even from that event. And I use essential oils in my somatic coaching practice, and I anchor it with my monthly intentions. And I'm yeah, I learned so much from you all the time. So yeah, that's a good need. And
Yeah, I invited you to that. I was like, I think Jen would like this class. I'm gonna invite
yeah,
her.
yeah. So
Yeah,
you're a great teacher. So yeah, that's a great one to put out there. That's
thank you.
perfect. So what in your business or in your life is working really well, like really, really well right now, and what is not?
What's working really well is just, again, like the online stuff. I've just gotten really in my comfort zone in a good way and flow with content creation and showing up online in video. And I just launched, haven't launched it officially, but a podcast. So I feel
Cool.
like all creative ideas are coming, and I can see, I feel really good about what I'm creating. But what's going poorly is just I'm not. So we've talked about my strengths. So Jen coaches using strength finding and the Gallup test.
Yeah.
Pretty sure organization, if that's a strength, is like my lowest one,
Right.
because I just have a huge problem keeping up with admin, like emails. Like I love everyone that emails me, but with email and Facebook message and Instagram message and WhatsApp, and I just can't keep track. And then I get really overwhelmed and guilty because I haven't written back to someone in 2 days. And so I really need to either figure out more systems for organization or get a personal assistant, which I don't want to do because I love being the heart of my business, and a huge part of it is connecting with people and talking to people, and I want to do that. So I think I'm just going to have to figure out systems and be more organized
Yeah.
with that.
And a big part of this group is about, okay, so if people are listening to this right now and you're like, oh, I was there and I had organizational issues, Laura, this is the system I use. So if anyone has any suggestions, like this is all about cheering each other on, spreading a word, and also giving suggestions. So yeah, perfect. I don't have any suggestions for you because yeah, because I'm bad at organizing. So no, perfect. The next line of questions that I'm going to ask you are moon inspired.
Okay.
And I'm going to just go through the different phases of the moon cycle. So I'm going to ask you your intention. I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty, like how can people work with you? The kind of hows, like call to action. If somebody's like, oh my God, I love her and I've been wanting to do this, how can they work with you today, tomorrow? And then we'll get into what do you need to let go of? And also, how do you take care of yourself? So the first question I want to ask you is, what is your intention with all of this? So you're doing doTERRA. What is the intention, the ripple effect that you're going to have on your life, your family life, your community, the world? What's your intention?
Um, it's big. Like I've always had a big vision. I love just how to put this into words. My intention, like it's a little bit selfish in the sense that I want to create a life of freedom where I don't have to worry about money, because then I feel like you need money to show up in the world. And I've done a lot of work with my money story and understand that money is energy and you need money. Money's not a dirty word. So just creating that level of freedom where the money I'm making can be funneled back into passion projects, into and not just passion projects for me. Like it makes me feel good to do these things, but like I have this vision. I love photography, and I was like, how can I incorporate that into my business? I don't want to be a photographer, but I saw this story once about a girl she's a professional photographer, and she takes photos for people who have Down syndrome or handicapped children
Yeah.
who are really overwhelmed and might not otherwise have time or be able to afford a professional photo shoot, and she does that for free for them. So I'm like, I just love to offer something like that and then use my photography that way, like where that's not dependent on being paid. And I've always had this vision of kind of like Humans of New York on Instagram or Facebook, how he just goes around talking to regular people and capturing their stories. I really want to do that with natural health. So going around the world and capturing just all these ancient methods of healing that we're kind of forgetting about, but have to come to the forefront again because the medical system is so broken. And then also my business, just helping people realize that it's never too late to get healthy, to change your life, to quit your job. Like I went back to medical school when I was 30. All my friends were having kids and babies. And I just knew that I wasn't destined for a 9-to-5 job, and I didn't want that to be trapped. So I'm all about reinvention, and I'm getting way off topic here. I'm on a huge tangent,
Oh,
but
I love
I'm
it.
creating something where it's a model for someone else to see that if I've done it, they can do it. And I went to a conference in New York City a couple years ago, and she said her definition of feminism was women rising into their light, shining bright, so other women had permission to do the same. So I love that.
Yeah.
I love that definition of feminism, as opposed to sorry, my cat just hello. This fight and this anger and whatever. So yeah, that's my intention of what I'm creating for myself.
I love it. So cool. And action. So this is essentially a call to action. If somebody's been watching you right now and is like, I need to work with her, how can they do that? What are the steps to take?
Yeah, just email me. So it's Laura
Okay.
at drlaurahughes.com. And then, or I love Instagram. That's my happy place just because I can do my photography. I love sharing inspirational stuff there. The community is just, knock on wood, just feels totally different than other forms of social media right now. So I love creating community over there. So yeah, Instagram or email. And then it's really easy. Like usually if someone gets oils from me, that's how they work with me. I don't charge like a huge premium to work with me or extra on top of the oils. It's just you join my community. I'm really creating community right now. So it's just getting started with doTERRA, which are the best oils on the planet. And letting me help you tap into your intuition and make you feel better. And yeah, natural health.
Perfect. And another thing that we talked about earlier, and I really want to like reiterate for this group, and I did a totally awesome Tuesday about this, was cooperation.
Oh, yes.
Right. So cooperation and competition. So in this group, in the ladies that lead, there's going to be other people that have doTERRA, and there's going to be other people that have other essential oils. And so we all want people to walk away with a really positive experience with essential oils. So wherever you're at your business, this is all about cooperating to shine your light so others can shine theirs as well, and so that you're all doing the best work into promoting essential oils so that essentially everyone is using them. So if somebody's in this group right now, I know Laura personally, like if you're even working for a different company and promoting their oils, have a conversation. What's working, what's not working, and kind of like vibe through each other. So that's,
I think like at the end of the day, we're all sharing essential oils because we recognize how amazing they are at just helping people elevate their health, their consciousness, listen to their bodies again, clean up their life.
yeah.
They're really powerful. And like I taught an event in Toronto on Saturday called Glow and Grow with a girl from doTERRA who's not on my team. We don't make money off each other. We're actually in competition with each other, but we're just like, she saw my skills as a naturopath and I saw her skills as a nutritionist. And I said, let's do this together. And you invite your people, I invite my people. There might be random people. And we both just taught, and it was so fun and energizing. And it's all about education and empowerment. And the more people we can do that with, we're all going to succeed. So yeah, no, I love collaborating with people.
Perfect. And do you have anything coming up? Do you have any events already planned in that you can tell us about?
That was my big one. I'm just kind of mapping out May right now. So not officially on the books.
Okay. So follow you on Instagram to find out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perfect. And then I love this question. This is probably my favorite question of all time. What do you need to let go of in order to fulfill your intention?
So this is something I think it's like a work in progress for everyone, but control for sure. Like you have an idea of what you want the future to look like. You have an idea of the steps you think you need to take to get there. And if there's no other lesson I've learned, it's that if you let go of the hows of how something's going to happen, the universe creates an easier path than you ever thought to get there. So When I get in my head a lot. Like intellection is
Yeah.
always in my head. So I'm working really hard on meditation and just learning how to focus on the moment and the present, because I know that I just need to let go of that.
Yeah. And your intellection, we talked about this the last time we talked, is beautiful. So your intellection is how you're going to, one of your main strengths. So just keep on writing down all your thoughts, because they're circulating for a reason. But yeah.
That was good from you. Thank you.
Yeah. Good times.
I saw a psychic. I think I told you this. I saw a psychic a few months ago or a couple months ago. I like to dabble and stuff like that. And she told me that writing, like it was almost like a last minute thought. She's like, oh, and writing is going to be really important for you. So just make sure you're writing. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I saw you for coffee like 2 weeks later, and you told me that. And I was like, okay, it's all making sense.
Yeah. I love it. And so the last question in the theme of the moon cycle is, how do you take care of yourself and how do you recharge your batteries?
Yes. So I've recognized in myself that, it's not that I don't do well with routine, but I need to always be mixing things up to stay creative and energized. So I'm always buying those like gym passes that, unlimited for 2 weeks at this gym or whatever. So right now I'm doing a surfing one in Toronto. There's like Surf Set Toronto, which is awesome. I just did my 3rd class. So stuff like that rejuvenates me. So working out for sure, moving my body, I have to keep moving.
Yeah.
And mixing up the workouts. So right now I'm surfing. I don't know what I'll be doing next week, but I recognize, especially because I work at home and I'm online a lot, if I'm sitting all day, I have to move, and I almost immediately feel better. So moving and then traveling, booking a spontaneous trip somewhere.
Yeah.
It's always food for my soul.
Yeah. And exercise actually makes a lot of sense for your intellection.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because you'll go away with problems. You'll come back with solutions. That's almost like a release to the universe with your intellection. You think, go work out, get into your body. Oh, it's so fun. Yeah. Very cool. Okay. Last couple of questions and then we'll wrap up. What kind of advice would you give to either yourself a couple years ago or wherever in your life that you want to give your younger self advice? Or if you're just like you and you're starting in like an essential oils business, like what kind of advice would you give to somebody that's just starting out?
I think don't be afraid of your own power. There's someone out there that needs you and needs to hear your message, and they can't find you unless you're shining and like showing up. So it's really easy to get caught in your head and with your ego, and if no one's listening and people keep backing out or canceling calls, or you're not making any sales, or you feel like nothing's moving, you never know who's listening and who's watching. So it's the consistent action that builds a business. And in this day and age, we really live in an instant gratification society. So if it's not working in a week, you're like, oh, my business failed. But I wish I just recognized earlier the importance of showing up every day, even for yourself. To go to bed at night knowing that you did everything you could do that day, and knowing that the harvest can't be prevented. If you're planting seeds, you're going to be successful. It just might look different than you thought it would. Like when I started my business, I had no intention of doing doTERRA. Like I was using the oils, I love them, but it never for 1 second fit into my business model. I was like, I don't want to do that. And then one day I woke up and I was like, actually, that's perfect. That checks every single box. And boxes I didn't even know I wanted to check. So it's
like being open to the opportunities.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're coming along. And I love the consistency piece, that I put up every week, a Totally Awesome Tuesday. That was seriously just a practice for myself and an appreciation practice. And I wanted to, like you, get on video. It made me super nervous. So I'm like, let's do it. And it's amazing. That's actually how I get most of my coaching clients today.
There you go.
And people reach out and they've been following Totally Awesome Tuesday. I don't think anyone's been listening, but they reach out and they're like, I love what you said about this. And I'm like, cool. Okay, let's work together. Like, it's neat.
So. I think the best thing I did a lot of work in manifestation, and I love all that metaphysical stuff. And just this idea that we can create our own life and reality, like, blows my mind in such a good way. But for a really long time, I wasn't taking the inspired action. And now I really recognize that all the magic comes from the inspired action. So you might think it's a bad idea, or like no one's watching, but like, look, like you're building your business through something that you started to do because you had like a flash of an idea to practice. So it's so cool.
Yeah. And I love that, like, law of vibration. Like, even today, before getting on this call, I get a charge, like a, like an energy through my body. And you could describe that as nervousness or excited. And I was excited. Like, this is something that I've wanted to do ever since the first day. Like, this was an intention. And I put it off, put it off, put it off. And I don't know where this will go. I'll be open to the opportunities, but I'm really excited to feature and start spreading the word of so many good people. And so.
Yeah. And this is your job. Like, get to do this. This is your job. Like, that's so beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. One last question. Fun fact. What's a fun fact, a weird fun fact about yourself?
Okay. So you gave me a couple of hints about what some questions would be, and like my mind froze when I saw this one because no. I'm pretty weird. My husband will attest to that. See, now I'm like, this is my deer in headlights. I don't know.
My fun fact, like a weird one of mine, is I love humanimals. Do you know what humanimals are?
No, yeah.
Oh yeah. So they're like, I love humanimal portraits. So it's like an animal head on a human body. Love them. Like, I love them. Like, every time I see one of those, I chuckle and I giggle and I have like, anyway. So that's like a
weird fact. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything I'm thinking of isn't really weird, though I know that I am weird. Just like random stuff. Like, if you know me and you hang out, you'll hear me say stuff like I love going to New York City. It's super close to our city. And I'll be walking around and just talking about, like, I was for sure living there in a past life. And some people are like, but like, yeah, I believe in past lives. Like, it kind of depends what I'm learning in a given week, what I talk about. But if you go for wine with me or travel with me, that's the kind of stuff you can expect to talk about.
That's a fun fact. And for me, that's not weird, but yeah, for other people, it really will.
I get the impression of being really quiet. Like, we're chatting because we're friends, but I'm pretty quiet in real life, and just have this long history of science degrees and being very intellectual. So when people, especially people who have known me since I was a kid, hear me talking about like past lives and manifestation and energy and crystals, they're just like, but I know like the crowd we're talking to might not find that weird, but
yeah. Very cool. So I'll wrap this off just with a summary. So I'm going to be posting this in the Ladies That Lead group, and I'm going to be doing a feature video every month with somebody new. And I would ask you to share the following Wednesday, so the second Wednesday after this appears. And I call it Wise Words on a Wednesday. So whatever is your kind of passion project, it could be something in the past that you've posted to your own groups. But this group is really about getting weird with it. Like, stuff like really close to your heart, and you're like, oh, I'm really being seen with this. Like this, and I don't quite know how to articulate it quite yet. So this stuff does not have to be perfect. It's in practice. So with this group, that's my whole intent. Like, I really want to make a safe place for us to get all weird, and I say witchy with it. Like, put it out there, and then it's for the rest of the group to be like, yeah, that's amazing. Cheer each other on with those shares, but also spread the word of what we're doing and what we're really good at, and also suggestions. And suggestions need to be useful, they need to be kind, and they need to be awesome. So things like that. So after this video is posted up, just the following Wednesday, I'll let you know. I'll throw you an email, just put something. And I would love for you to be like a consistent contributor to this group. So yeah, and that's really what it's like. Like, another reason why I'm doing this is I have so many amazing friends doing such amazing things, but I don't know how to share it.
Yeah.
so I'm doing this for myself to kind of get in to know the verbiage and how to really tell other people about what they do to spread the word. So the more you can post, it will show people in this group what you do, and so that we can start sharing the good stuff.
Cool. Sounds
Cool.
good. Yeah.
And just to make it, sorry?
I know what I'm going to post.
Yes. And just to make it easy too, I'm going to, on my website, under my About tabs, I'm going to have just a tab for friends, and I'm going to post all these interviews just on my website. So, and all of Laura's like contact details, so that if you can't find it in the Facebook feed, because those things get lost, I don't even know where they go. If you can't find it and you're like, oh, I'm ready now, you can go onto my website and everything. So that's it. And I'm going to wrap this up with me just with an ask. So one of my intentions for this year is to ask and receive. And a massive practice for me is to ask more. And so my ask for this group is it's really important for me to keep this integrity alive in this group. And I really want the whole basis is that tide that rises all ships. And we're just a really strong, cohesive group of really strong women supporting other really strong women, and all amazing things will happen from that. So that's it. So my ask is like, help me, like if you know how to like create a group, or if the group, I don't want the group to ever get off track. Okay, so anyone that has any suggestions of how to keep that integrity alive, I've invited, we just have a little bit over 100 people. I want people to start inviting. So Laura, please start inviting people that you know will love this message and can be part of this group and can share and to also receive from this group. And I'll ask everyone to do the same. And so that's essentially my ask. All right. And I'll leave you with the last word. I'm just curious of what you're really excited for coming up.
What am I really excited for in my business or in life?
Anything.
So I'm really quite spontaneous. So I'm doing this surfing thing, and I just decided that I have to go to Bali. So I just booked a trip to Bali, which I'm really excited about for Christmas. And yeah, just again, I think I've kind of been hiding a little bit in the online world. So I'm just really excited to spend the spring and summer in my city in Toronto, getting to know more ladies, teaching more, and really just developing these new connections with new friends.
Amazing. Cool. So that's it. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for doing this.
No worries.
And we'll talk again soon.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bye. All right.